Let's try and work on some hog to hog times and then talk to us.
I don't think we could. Yeah, I guess we can.
Oh, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
If anybody can do it,
It's you, Dan.
Yeah, well, the most inconsistent part of this is my timing, not Colby's release.
okay. Fair enough.
Looks like Ben's been left an opening here to sneak around all those front guards and be sitting really nice here if he can make this shot.
So this is my first year playing mixed doubles with my wife, who is a brand new curler, and
Hi, Gay.
She's not here, but I'll say hi to her for you.
He's listening.
But what we have learned rather quickly is this race to the button or the top of the forefoot is vitally important.
As Jen and Ben are pointing out and showing us exactly how to do it.
They are piling it where they need to.
In front of the tee line with good backing. That stone that was just thrown is probably not going anywhere anytime soon.
No. Colby might be looking at blowing up the top guards here right now. They have not a whole lot of options.
And again, this is where, as I've played, in mixed doubles a couple of times, but not in the league format. Those stones that are up there in what I'm going to call the free guard zone at the top of the house, can they be taken out yet? When can those be moved?
They can be removed in a similar fashion as the normal 4-person game after the 5th stone.
Okay.
So 2 are already in play, 3 are delivered. That 5th stone then can remove any guard or any rock from play.
Perfect.
And he's chosen to draw down and try and kind of set up for the next shot. Unfortunately, I think they'll still sit 1-2 at the very least. But he's got something up top there to maybe work with. Ben's probably going to cap it.
Hard to tell for sure from my angle here in the press box at Kalamazoo Curling Club Curling Stadium, but it looks like yellow is still sitting 3.
That is, yep, I agree. Looks like it might be. So it looks like Ben has chosen to throw kind of essentially a guard, cap off that top blue one Colby just threw, make it tough for him to try and get in there. Might have the other side having to draw the edge of the pin there. And for those of you that haven't seen mixed doubles, Jason brought up a point earlier, we'll explain it briefly for you. 2 people play. 1 person throws the first and the last stone, and 1 person throws the 3 middle stones. You can alternate that throughout the game. Doesn't have to remain the same throughout the game at all. So you can alternate at each end if you want to. We'll watch Benny's shot here, see if he gets the guard in. Looks pretty good. Did what he wanted it to do. And so as a result, there's only 5 rocks delivered per end, meaning thrown down the ice. 2 rocks are pre-placed. So whoever has the hammer, their rock goes in the house on the back of the 4-foot. And the team that does not have the hammer, their rock goes on the center line, usually halfway up the guard zone. And that's how the end is already pre-set up. 5 rocks will be delivered. And after that, you see who's scored. Much of this game is about, as already was mentioned by Dan earlier, it's a race to the 4-foot. You're really trying to throw guard or draws into the 4-foot as often as possible. Getting the best angle is the most crucial thing here.
And I'll just say here, begging, please excuse us as this is our first commentated game. As we proceed through the remainder of the season here at Kalamazoo Curling Club's Curling Stadium, I'm thinking that we probably do want to have, as much as I hate to be redundant, we probably do want to have some descriptions like this so that they could be read by commentators, giving that brief description for anybody who is watching for the first time.
No, that's a good point, Jason. The goal here is to educate people that have tuned in to watch the game. So looks like Colby is trying to draw around the other side to the edge of the pin, which is the white button or the white center of the bullseye there.
Both sweepers going at it.
Not
And I'm
quite enough. A little short.
not sure that was as helpful as they wanted. We're going to blame that on
So
Colby.
playing chair. Sorry.
We'll blame that
Sorry,
on
Jason.
Colby. His ineffective sweeping.
So playing armchair or backseat curling commentator, would Ben still be looking to maybe throw a guard over there? Because Colby theoretically, or Lori, I'm trying to remember who's up now, could be tapping blue or yellow into blue to at least cut down.
Yes, if I had to guess, and again, it's hard in this to see what the skips are calling. I would guess that they are throwing a guard over that blue that Colby just delivered, the rock that was just delivered, simply to cut out the ability to bump raise that. That's almost the only shot they have to get any points out of this. And it looks like that's what they're doing. So he's delivered. And he's just trying to throw the guard over that one. So Colby, or actually this would be Lori's shot. Last one would be Lori's. Will he get it over?
Just barely.
Just barely. Good sweeping, Jenny. So yes, guard that one. Now really there's almost nothing for Lori short of hitting 2-3 blue ones and hoping for the best. I would go back about 3 shots ago. Colby had a chance to blow up the front. It's not normal. In mixed doubles, you normally aren't blowing up your guards. But when yellow was sitting 3 and all guarded, he had 2 rocks left and she had 1 rock. You almost have to try and bail out. That's the difficulty with mixed doubles compared to 4-person curling. The bailout really needs to be decided sooner. You can't wait that extra shot because there's only 5 shots being delivered. So you really need to make that decision earlier than in a normal 4-person game. Not saying it was the right call or the wrong call. It's just if you're going to do it, you have to do it pretty much on the 3rd rock delivered so that you have the 4th and the 5th rock still to try and make your points.
Again, lots of differences between the 4 and 2 player games in terms of strategy. This is a different game from the 4-person game.
Yes, it is tremendously different. I love the 4-person game. I just started playing. Well, we started the league 3 years ago, I believe, in Kalamazoo. And the thing that I have fallen in love with in the 2-person game is it really forces you to be a better draw maker. Much more, many more shots are just all about touch and finesse, not always hitting everything. So it's a great mix. It really is. Lori's coming in here.
This is up weight, but I don't know that it's going to make too much contact.
Oh, they may have saved themselves a point.
She cut him down to 2. So good attempt. Jenny's got 1 more.
And does she have much of an opportunity to be able to get in for a 3rd point? She gets half of the 4-foot.
She's got the outturn draw there, half the 4-foot, and she'll get herself a 3. If anybody can do it, Jenny can.
So back to timing, gentlemen. Even though I'm in my 7th year curling, I typically have not done hog to hog timing. I do the back line to hog. So help me even understand, and anybody that is listening, what a draw hog to hog time might look like.
If you're playing the game, you're not the skip, and let's take a look there. It looked like she missed that. It's going to be a score of 2 for Levy in the first end. If you're playing the game, you're not going to, unless you're the skip, probably be in a position to be able to get a hog line to hog line time with your stopwatch. You're sweeping, you're moving along with it. So we do, as players in the game, rely on that back line to hog line to give you some sort of an indication of how fast that stone is going. The skip will be able to get a better time hog to hog, and because the hog to hog time is being the stone is moving all by itself. It doesn't have a player's hand on it. There's no variability in terms of did they push down on the stone, did they pull back on the stone, did they do something with it. It's a true time. And in a lot of clubs, somewhere between 12 and a half, 14 seconds is going to give you that time that's going to be, right to the tee line, center of the house. And obviously that depends on what end you're playing in and what the conditions of the ice are.
Thank you, Jason.
Well, thank you. And I have to drop off, everybody, but thank you for your commentary, and I will be listening. But it's my birthday, and I have to go to dinner with the family. So thanks, everybody.
I was going to say it's
I will
Chad's
be watching
birthday.
the curling, but I have to drop off.
Happy birthday, Chadwick.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks
Happy
for your help.
birthday.
Bye.
So the Levy's first stone through the house, probably not a tactical decision this early in the game.
Probably correct.
Probably a mistake.
We've all made them.
An opportunity for the Novar Rentschler rink to sneak right in there. This looks to be a pretty good shot.
Sure does.
Really curling.
They're getting about 4 foot of curl there, which is great. Speeds in Kalamazoo are usually pretty good. We're lucky. We have good speed and normally 3 to 4 foot of curl. Pretty ideal for curling circumstances.
I'm going to step away, gentlemen, and see how this looks down on our TV downstairs.
Outstanding.
And listen to you for a second.
So, we said hi.
I'll get.
Jeez, that happened fast, Jason J. Hall.
It sure did.
Just you and me.
And here we are. The excitement is gone. There's better opportunities out there, and they're gone.
All right. Just to give some love to a few of our viewers, a little shout out to my skip, Ryan Larson. He says the audio is good. Mike Doctor, loving the commentary. These are valued members of our club. We appreciate your feedback, good or bad.
Keep those cards and letters coming.
Most of what Marcus is going to say is not going to be great, but everything
Very
else,
true.
we hope you enjoy the commentary.
And as you've heard, all of you have heard me say before, if you don't like it, you can do it. That works for me too.
Absolutely.
This opportunity does exist for you.
Exactly.
Folks, if you're interested, you now know who can help you.
So beautiful shot there by, was it Benny?
And just practically welded onto the blue stone there at the back of the button. Hard to take that one out in one
Yeah, now it's a
shot.
matter of getting the angles. Now they got to come the other way, sit on the edge of it, try and corner freeze it.
Angles clearly crucial, especially when you're not throwing big hits. You're just trying to, a lot of the time, jostle stones around and shift all of those stones that end up in the 4 foot center of the house.
Absolutely. So Colby's throwing the intern there. If he can get to the corner edge of that yellow one and just push it slightly, but still stay under that guard, he'll be in good shape. Looking good, real good.
With a chance to keep.
Looks a little heavy though, so he's going to chop off a little bit too much there. But that's all right. He got the yellow out of play. Now Ben's going to go throw the same shot. Right on top of that blue again.
Plenty of room in the button to sneak a yellow stone and hopefully have it stick around a little better than that last one.
Yeah, it'll be tough. If Benny makes a shot here, it'll be tough for Colby to remove it.
Is there, I really appreciate the approach that our friend Vic Router takes on TSN. I like to ask dumb questions. A lot of times,
He's dumb, Jason. No question.
a lot of times when we're playing this game, my thinking always is it's nice to have stones in front of the tee line. Right now, we've got 4 stones. They're all behind the tee line. Does that provide opportunities for
It-
anybody?
It sure does right now for yellow. Again, that last shot that Colby threw was a very good one, just a little heavy. So he hit and rolled back behind the tee line. Had he stayed right in front of that tee line, he'd be going right where Ben is trying to go now. Ben's trying to sit right on top of that blue one, maybe move it back a little, but he'll be at the tee line or slightly above it.
If he
can
gets past the guard
Yep, just
and
barely
just
past.
barely squeaks by.
And he's going to sit right where you want to be. Top of the tee line. Well, he actually slipped a little further than he would like.
Yellow is shot for
Yes,
the
he is.
moment.
And like you said, though, this game is all about angles, and ultimately you want to be above the tee line, because now here Ben slipped just behind the tee line. Although Colby and Lori would want 2 points here, they can come sit on top of that yellow one now and be shot rock and be really difficult to remove from play. And then you just kind of hope and make some shots until the end where you maybe can get your 2. But I obviously Ben would rather be above that tee line right now, because now Colby can sit right on him and be shot rock above the tee line.
And perhaps with yet another stone, nudge that yellow just a little bit out and possibly get there too.
Correct. So yes, like the 4-person game, this one just is much more pronounced, because you're starting with a rock right there, and all your shots are going right to that tee line or just behind it, and ideally you'd like to stay above it.
Lori, quick to sweep.
Looks like it's past the guard. He looks a little heavy again,
and not curling quite
he's
like
gonna get his
I'd
rock.
appreciate.
Not quite what he wanted there. It's not terrible. He's got a chance to still use his rock if he wants it, but so does Ben. Now Ben can really sit right there and be really tough to get out if he can sit right in on the yellow and blue.
And ideally in this situation, does he want to not necessarily come down and freeze on that blue, but to stay in front of it a bit, cut off some angles?
Yeah, if he were to be top, yes, it probably wouldn't be bad if he was just short of it. But if he's just short of it, he leaves the other team the option to use that rock to cross over and maybe double out the
2 yellows.
Double out the 2 yellows. So you really, anytime in this case with Ben and they don't have hammer, you're wanting to just steal one or force one. And so if he were to lay his right in there, right on top of those blue and yellow, it's going to be really, really tough for Lori to get those both out of there.
This is the first game that Kalamazoo Curling Club has had an opportunity to do some commentating. I know it's early. Whoa, could we use a telestrator?
There's always things we can add.
Boy, oh boy, would a telestrator be great right now.
Right. So you mean using my fingers right here doesn't show up on
I don't see that. Yeah.
No, okay. So Benny's delivering. He looks a little wide, a little heavy. It still might be
the sweep as needed.
It is coming in. So he's going to sit right there, top of the. That's a good shot. Good shot
It's
by
a little
Ben.
roll to leave the Levies with their Yellowstone sitting 2.
Not a lot of options right now for Novar Rentschler. Really tough to get that yellow on Ben just through. Very difficult to get out of there.
And this is going to be hammer shot for the team. I mean, a blue score of 2 is not happening.
No, out of the question. Honestly, I think the best they can do is even just cut to 1. Yellow just to 1. It's a good spot if you're yellow. Let's say that. So it looks like they're just playing the soft tap, trying to come down to the yellow one just behind the tee line, move it a little, and maybe snuggle in there for shot rock.
But really, in order to score blue a point, they got to move both of those yellow, and it's just not there.
Yeah. Unless they've changed up the order, and I apologize for not paying attention. Colby's throwing this one, so that means Lori still has one more.
I'm seeing 2 stones at the back of the house from the shooting end.
Which means one more each team, yes.
Okay.
So Colby is trying to just nestle in there. That's all he can really do. Try and get that yellow one pushed back. He's got to get by the guard here. Lori's sweeping hard.
And that's not happening.
Not quite enough. The one thing he did, the pro side miss there is moving that guard out of there. So Ben's probably just going to throw a guard anyway. But at least if Lori needs to, she can throw some heavy weight at it and try and move a couple of those stones. But my guess is Ben's either coming, or Jenny's going to come right down to it, or leave a guard. Looks like Colby had the right weight, but just maybe a little tight on the line. Looks like we have 12 people watching the stream there, Jason. So I don't know what our average has been, but hopefully not quite 12.
No, I think it's been a little bit low. Obviously, during the week, people will, peek in at games, but live games, I'm not sure how many folks are watching. More all the time. This looks a little deep.
It does. It actually, if it rolls off, might. Oh, no, that's not. That's pretty good. That's the spot's there, though. They opened it up. Lori can maybe draw right down into that pocket.
A little bit of a pocket.
Maybe get one.
Hey guys, I'm back.
All right.
To answer your question, I believe Team Culver's has the biggest following on Curling Stadium, Kalamazoo currently.
That stands to reason. I'm not tooting your horn here when I say this. Given an opportunity, when I'm watching on Monday nights on the Kalamazoo Curling Stadium, as I scroll through the different games available, if I see Team Culver's out there, I stop to watch that team. Ryan Larson makes some nice shots, and it's always a thrill to watch.
It's always fun to watch what he can clean up that we muck up earlier in the game.
Correct.
Ryan likes to throw the high hard one, that's for sure.
My wife says hello downstairs, and I can tell you I went down there, and it is really, really good. The video quality was great, and the audio is coming through super clear. So this is a really great thing that we have here. So we really need to be thankful as a club to even have the ability to do something like this. We're miles ahead of a lot of clubs right now, and I think it's really cool.
Kalamazoo Curling Stadium is a new stadium, and it has all the amenities that you would expect to find in a brand new stadium.
So Lori trying to throw that down there. Really good weight. Just
looks like they're going to be able to.
Wow. Might be
maybe one for yellow, but it looks to me like it could be 2 yellow.
Yeah, I think they might have to grab
I think 1 yellow. I think
you might have to be measuring here.
Do we want to have some side bets? Are we allowed to gamble while we're commentating?
I say blue is closer in the situation. You guys?
I'm going to bet you 50 cents that it's yellow.
So we have some options here. Do we know for sure that yellow didn't already score 2?
I think
yellow got 1.
Yellow 1 for sure.
You're measuring for 2.
And now we're going to bring out the excitement stick here for perhaps a measure for the second shot.
I would like to give a shout out in our downtime here. We got a comment from AZ Ashtamo said, is there going to be a 4th end break for them to be able to run and get a beer? So we don't actually have 4th end breaks here in our leagues, but you can certainly run and get a beer anytime you'd like.
Although it does become more complicated with doubles versus a 4-person team. to be able to lose a sweeper.
Very true. Very true.
And here comes the stick of doom.
It must be pretty close. Colby continues to stand over them, wondering.
Well, Colby's a thinker, and he does like to ponder.
The excitement is palpable on this big N2 measurement.
I'm palping right now.
It's more information than needed.
I don't know if anybody else is a palper out there, but if they are palping, well, it is so palpable.
Okay, this is drama at its best. Ben is looking at the numbers, as is Colby. Here it comes. What do we have?
Indication.
Normally they kick the stone, don't they?
That might indicate.
Might.
Normally,
indicate that
we
blue-
might, if we're going to commentate games, we might have to have a reminder to our players. They should
Exactly.
move the stone that won should have been moved toward the center so we would know. However, we're going to have to wait until they post the score, folks.
Yeah, boy, this is super exciting. Super exciting.
Clearly, yellow scored again, which we already knew. The question was it 2 or not?
Correct.
For all of those people who like to say that this is not an exciting game, by golly. A measurement in the second end, and we have to wait on the edge of our seats to find out what the score is.
All right, I'm going to go put my timer away since it appears that is not valuable information to our view.
And again, a little heavy on Jenny's first shot. That is the second time she's gone through the house on her first.
She came out in the first end when it's the most unpredictable. Oh, here's the score about to be posted, folks.
Oh.
And 1 yellow.
Yeah! 50 cents, pay up, Hall.
50 cents coming your way. I will send that to you in cryptocurrency.
I prefer Venmo.
After Jenny delivering her first stone of the first end perfectly, she struggled on the last 2, so I'm sure she'll figure it out.
I do have a theory. Is it possible that Jenny feels bad for Colby and Lori and she's just trying to keep the match close?
That I doubt it, but it's possible. We can ask Jenny later.
This
That
is
was a very good throw by Lori.
This is
Yes,
a
it was.
season of giving, and I totally could see Jenny, as nice as she is, being in the giving mood. But yeah, that didn't happen.
So for those of that don't know the Levies, they don't live in the Kalamazoo area. Where exactly? Don't they live in the Ann Arbor area?
Yes, they do. East of it, a little bit east of Ann Arbor, about an hour and 45-minute drive every night or every Wednesday when they come out to curl. Matter of fact, the Levies are members of the Detroit Curling Club, our curling club, as well as Bowling Green. So they are very active curlers in the region. I call them the curling couple. They're some wonderful people that really love the sport and do a lot to promote it.
Fantastic ambassadors for the sport. Ben serves currently as the president of still the Detroit Curling Club. Is that true?
That's not correct. He is not.
So he's not that anymore. But
I'm sorry. Stephanie now is. Brett was last year. Brett was, and Ben was 2 years ago. Ben is GLCA president.
There is the Great Lakes Curling Association
Correct.
president. So still serving as an ambassador for the sport.
Yes. Stephanie Whitmore is the new president over at Detroit.
So back to my theory, the Levies are feeling really bad now for Colby and Lori. I'm just doubling down on my feeling bad theory.
And my theory is going to be it's the third end, and maybe that ice is speeding up a little bit, and that might be the reason why some of those stones are sailing through. Fantastic opportunity for.
You bring a great point up, Jason. The ice tends to speed up or get faster as the ends are played. So the first couple of rocks you throw are really slow, and then all of a sudden it gets really quick, and everybody's can be fooled by it. Doesn't look like Colby has been, nor was Lori. 2 great shots.
Nice.
Really
so
good
very nice.
Great opportunity for those for the Rentschler Novar team.
Yes, it is.
Novar, with a little hole buried, would love to score at least a deuce here, and are certainly setting themselves up for the opportunity.
It's looking good.
Although with that opening there to the right, I assume Ben's just trying to nuzzle it right on to Colby's at this point, right? That'd be his best shot, would we say?
I would think so, and an opportunity. Even you've got a little bit of opportunity for movement on the blue stone that's in the center of the house, without too much problem.
So one of the decisions in mixed doubles is, do you have your partner stand in the house and give you a broom to target at, or do you have your partner be your sweeper? The Levies have chosen for Ben to sweep his own stone, felt the broom more important to aim at on his slide, and the result's pretty strong.
Blue still sitting shot, but yellow in a position to be able to squeeze a little closer to the very center of the house.
Really almost impossible for Colby to move that out of there at this point with what he's got available to him without crashing into their own stones behind it.
Hopefully that's not too demoralizing for Mr. Novar.
Colby's a pretty positive guy. I think he's going to feel like he's still got an opportunity to make some hay in this end.
We do try to keep the hay off of the surface of the curling ice. The hay could provide obstacles for stones to stop it. Just not encouraged for people to bring hay onto the ice.
So Colby's team has decided to use Lori as the sweeper and not have her hold the broom, which I think they've done every throw. I haven't even paid attention. Have the Levies typically had their partner holding a broom in the end, or have they changed it shot by shot?
They tend to switch it up. They tend to, not all the time is it the same way. Sometimes they'll have a broom, someone holding the broom. Sometimes they'll not.
Looks like Lori is going to come down and hold the broom. Or is she just checking stone position here? Nope. Just verifying who the points are, I think.
Checking out the angles. Again, a great opportunity for us to use the telestrator if we had one. Boy, I wish we had a telestrator.
Well, that is good feedback for the fine folks at Curling Stadium.
That's what your wonderful voice is for, Jason. To illustrate what is going on. You don't
To
need
paint pictures with words.
That's what we're here for.
It's a really nice view in the background. I'd like to give a little shout out to Marcus Gleaton for the water bottle system back there. That has been a big hit. Those have been like emptying quickly. So thank you for bringing that in.
Curlers do have a tendency to stay hydrated.
So he looks like he's throwing the intern. Must be looking to try and tap.
There's a possibility to run
out of there.
If they can get past a yellow guard, that is not probably the called shot.
But again, pro side miss, getting the guard out of there, opening things up a little bit is always helpful. But yes, Jason, you're right. Not probably what he intended. He probably wanted to tap that blue into the yellow. The blue right around the edge of the 8-foot.
Does anybody know who Azio or Aziashimo is?
I do not.
Aziashimo, if you're still a viewer and listening, please reveal yourself if it's somebody we know from the club or not. It'd be great if somebody stumbled onto this, but I'm guessing you're a member of our club.
They're at least aware about fourth end breaks, so they might have at least some working knowledge of a curling match. Well, Stephanie's out on the chat. Hi, Steffers. How are you? Stefanator. Started curling in Kalamazoo, was it 2010, I believe, during the Olympics. She's the most decorated curler we have in our club. She's gone to women's nationals. She's finished 4th, I believe, in 2019. She's won the gold medal at arena nationals. She's many times gone on for mixed curling and competed at the national level. I believe they finished 2nd in mixed nationals about 3 years ago, maybe 4. She's been an unbelievable curler, and we're proud to call her one of ours.
Does not look like that was an intended result either.
AZ Ashmo has been revealed. It is John Beebe, the club president.
Howdy, Jonathan.
That would make sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. He lives in Ashmo.
Looks like Joel Kraus has started a GoFundMe for our telestrator, Jason. There you go. Ask and ye shall receive.
And if Dan is the mensch that I think he is, he probably will take his 50 cents of winnings and contribute that to the Telestrator Fund as well.
I'm happy to donate the first 50 cents I've earned as a better eagle eye than Jason Hall to the Telestrator Fund.
Look at that. We are well on our way.
But I do think this is should be a tradition moving forward. Anytime there are multiple broadcasters of making the who's closer call.
Little side bets.
Gambling is legal in Michigan for those
that's
are
right.
coming to us from out of state. I don't think it is in Minnesota.
So this is Colby's last shot. Looks like he's trying to drive that blue one at the top of the 8-foot into the yellow, and he's over curling.
He may catch yellow.
He catch the backside and get it kind of the other.
Catch yellow.
Get out of there. Now.
Okay.
So we call Plan B in curling, which most of us are very familiar with Plan B, as it's usually the more often result of our shot.
Now, the yellow stone that was ticked is not moving anywhere.
It is not, unfortunately.
And so does Team Yellow, does the Levy team here ever want to touch that yellow to push the blue stone at the back of the button a little out to be maybe get yellow in there for 2 points?
So the answer to that is almost a definite no.
Okay.
They will be happy to guard that up and force Lori to have to make probably almost an impossible shot just for one. And I don't know that it's there. So they will want to guard, because if they go a little off and push blue a little too far back, suddenly they might be able to double out the 2 yellows and get 1 or 2 blue here. So right now Jenny's looking to throw a guard.
I did tell Gay to come up and say hello at some point, so we might have a guest appearance by my wife.
A little bit late to the broom, and that little nudge on the blue stone may be advantageous.
So remember the Plan B we talked about? There you go. Plan B. Perfect guard.
Colby seems to be, Mr. Novar seems to be taking a look at that yellow stone on the outer side of the 8-foot. Seems to be taking a look at some crazy angles there, it would seem to me, that probably still don't result in both of those yellows disappearing.
Seems like an opportunity for me to jump in here, guys. John Benton here with Curling Stadium. Just thought I'd jump in and say hello. You guys seem to be having a good time with this.
Thanks for jumping in, John. Yeah, it's great. It's been wonderful working with you guys and getting everything set up. It's awesome.
Well, it's been a pleasure to work with everybody there, and we look forward to having you guys do this a lot. So those of you out there listening, talk to somebody at the club, try your hand at a little commentary. This is what we want with Curling Stadium all over the place.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
We like to be groundbreakers in Kalamazoo, so we're happy to take the plunge.
Did I hear we already have an enhancement request? We want a telestrator. Is that?
Yeah,
Tell you what, it'd be nice. It'd be really cool, even if it was just a red dot.
We've got a GoFundMe page. I already started for it, John.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
50 cents is already in the pot.
Well, we've had enough struggles. Appreciate the club and all the membership's patience with us getting all the tech figured out, but we'll put that on the list for sure.
Sounds good. No, it's been awesome. It's we were fortunate enough to work with you guys over the summer and get it up and running here to start our leagues, and it's been amazing. We hosted the GLCA U18s a couple weeks ago, and all the coaches, the parents, and everybody that was wanting to watch just loved it. We're so thankful that we had it and offered it, and it's been amazing. I know our club members, many of them watch them as they get the chance. So it's been great to have, and hopefully we can grow the viewership as time goes by.
For sure. And I'll say while they're between ends here, there are some other things that are coming along with the system. We'll be announcing on Monday the ability to integrate team schedules with league schedules with Curling Manager. Nice. Be working with the club so that each one of these streams, you'll get to see the matchup between the two teams if you don't know the teams that are playing. And we're working very diligently on trying to take care of the titles and descriptions on YouTube so you can find the games a lot easier after they've been played. So lots of work is happening behind the scenes to make this better. And you guys have a big national event coming up too, right, Marcus?
We do. I was just about to text you to make sure we talk about it. Yes, absolutely. We are hosting mixed doubles U.S. Nationals, which will be a phenomenal event. Fourth time we're hosting a national event here, and since our club started in 2008. We are really looking forward to it. But John, why don't you go ahead and kind of finish up the announcement, and how are people going to watch those games?
Yeah, well, I think that announcement is coming out fairly soon. Curling Stadium's going to be working.
I was waiting on it.
It's going to be working with Curling or with USA Curling streaming events, and I'll kind of tease it. There's more than just the one here at Kalamazoo, and we're super excited about it. The goal has always been for us to stream every game. It's something that started during the pandemic. Myself and Jerry Gertz at Curling Zone just talking about how people are going to watch curling through the pandemic, and here we sit today. So the games that we'll do from mixed doubles, there'll be some featured games where we get to use a little bit more of the technology, pan tilt zoom, and a fully featured broadcast that you're used to seeing on a national level, but also having what you're seeing today, what we call tier 3, our static view. So if the feature game is not the teams you want to follow, you can still watch the games that you want to watch.
That's great. That's exciting, and really, really happy for you guys, seeing what you guys are able to provide for us and for the other clubs that are on Curling Stadium. I think it's amazing. It's really awesome, and looking forward to working more with you guys to make sure everything's set up and ready to go for mixed doubles nationals.
Awesome. Well, I'll leave you guys to it. That was a really nice draw. I don't want to take away from the game anymore, but I appreciate again your guys' patience and willing to sit through some training tonight and give it a try, and just super excited to hear you guys doing commentary on Curling Stadium.
Thanks again, John. We really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, John.
one of the things, of course, is that because this technology has become more available in more places, people do have expectations that, oh, isn't it on video? It's got to be easy to do, and to some extent, it is. But there's also a lot of planning that goes into it, and it's certainly a learning curve. So we're working hard to try to bring you again, all of our league matches and some special events as well. And it looks like we're going to be here for the future to be able to do that.
Absolutely, Jason.
So Levy's the yellow throwing team in control of the match right now. We're in the fourth end, and blue, the Novar Rentschler rink is shot, but they are playing comeback. Marcus, talk to us in a game like mixed doubles where you do only have 5 stones being thrown for each team. How difficult is mounting a big comeback in mixed doubles?
Ironically enough, Jason, it's actually easier to score multiples in mixed doubles because everything is so crowded around the 4-foot, the inner circle there. And so all rocks, assuming you're around the 4-foot, all your rocks are going to be right there. And if you happen to get one rock moved in the right spot or push another one out, all of a sudden you might be sitting only one, but you have the third and fourth and fifth shot right around there. You move their rock out, and suddenly you get a 3 or a 4. So multiples are scored even at the highest levels on a very regular basis in mixed doubles. So the good news is, even if you're down 4-0 after 4, you've still got a really good chance to try and score multiples. So it's that's one of the reasons why you tend to stay in games longer, just because you can get 4 or 5 points in any given end.
It's also worth pointing out that things didn't seem to be so dire for the Novar Rentschler rink that they employed their power play, where you can move those stones that are out there before the end starts in a fixed position. Those can be moved to either side to open up the middle of the house and, in theory, allow for some more scoring. But the Novar Rentschler rink did not choose to employ that, so that says to me that maybe they've got some confidence that they're going to be able to ring up some points here in this end.
Yes, it is. The power play is available. I will say this, as newer curlers to the mixed double game, and I'm putting me in that same category as Colby and Lori, and we don't play it a lot. We've only played it for a couple of seasons. So honestly, I play with Mar and Tillman, and we very rarely engage it because it's a whole different set of shots.
Yeah.
And we haven't used it that often. So we feel more comfortable with throwing it right to the center pin, and haven't used it in ways that the more advanced teams use it regularly. Again, Jenny and Ben Levy, they curl in mixed doubles matches in tournaments and curling bonspiels throughout the season, and are very well versed in the strategy. And I would bet in this game they will probably pull out that trick that most of us choose not to use because we don't know how to use it that well. The power play is a tool that definitely can help you score multiples.
Yeah, I would echo, playing this year for the first time, that what I've heard is that more times than not, when people have tried to do it, they've actually not scored as well as they have when and to your point, Marcus, probably because we're getting so trained at throwing to the button that now we're throwing a different shot. It's a different strategy, and I think you just need to do it more and kind of get comfortable with what's the best way to score with that guard off to the wing. It's an interesting consideration.
Yes.
When you're down there and you're trying to decide what to do.
Very true.
The one thing I was thinking about the other night, Gay and I were already, my wife plays with me, and so we were already pretty much in trouble in the game, and so I did it more for fun. But I was thinking, since you can't take a stone out for a bit, does it not make sense maybe to throw one then into the house, knowing the other team can't take it out, even exposed? Like, is
Certainly, yeah. You're right, Dan. You actually have a built-in guard, right? Because they can't hit it
right
till the 4 stones delivered. So yes, you can throw into the wing right away if you wanted to. The trouble with that, or the problem with that, is that team will immediately follow and cap. If they make their shot, they're going to sit right on top of yours in the back of the 4 foot, and now you're the rest of the end. You're scrambling to try and get that one out of there, because if you can weld one to that back 4, it's really tough. It's really tough to get it out of there, and the rest of your end, you're playing catch up on it.
Right.
So an upweight shot there that sends a blue stone out and leaves the Levy rink with 2 yellow scoring stones if the end were to end right now. Both of those stones pretty open.
Yes, they are.
So a couple other comments. I mean, it looks like we have 14 viewers right now.
All right.
And many of them may know this, but we do still have a few things in the works. One for sure, which is ambient audio. That I guess I'm trying to remember how that would work with this right now. Would we also be hearing that audio, or do we override that audio? Because there will be a microphone eventually where when you tune into Curling Stadium, any one of our 5 sheets, if there's certainly not commentating, you're going to hear just the sounds of the rink. We're close to that. We just have a few minor steps to finish working with Wings, right, Marcus? And we'll hopefully have that capability early in 2023.
Yes. Yep. That's the goal.
John, yeah, I didn't know you were still on. So will we hear that? Oh,
I believe we do. If I remember correctly in our instruction, that would be still in the background and you would hear our voices over top of it.
all right. Well, that's good to know. We'll have double audio potentially. And then down the road, there's talk of miking up players, and that's kind of next steps, and that's a bit down the road probably, but that would be
obviously it's after a telestrator, according to the needs and wants of our commentators.
But that we've experienced. Marcus and I got to play down in Cincinnati earlier this year in April, and Marcus had the opportunity to be mic'd up with the other skip in our finals match, and it was a really, really neat opportunity for him to kind of talk through these shots that we don't hear what they're saying right now, but you could, and it would be a very neat capability to have that we likely will have at some point.
It was also a great chance for Dan to promote our sponsors, like that shot missed by Swiffer.
Right. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for some comedy relief.
Oh yeah, that too.
And as we talked about, for anybody that's ever played with Marcus Gleaton, if you ever want to see positive Marcus, put a mic on him. Suddenly you're going to hear Marcus be the nicest guy in the world. Oh, that's okay. Good miss. Good miss. Typically when playing with Marcus, you don't hear those comments.
Yeah, my team came up to me after the second and said, "What the heck? Who are you?
Who is this guy playing with us that has a microphone on his lapel?"
Very true, Dan.
Well, the great news is that even if angry Marcus, shows up, it's on YouTube and not on one of the major networks, and so an occasional F-bomb would be okay.
You'll get our broadcast banned by YouTube.
Right.
I think we've got a long way to go before we approach that.
Yeah, we're probably not on a lot of YouTube radars right now.
Well, if we get up to 15 viewers, we might.
All right, back to the match. What do we got going on here?
Man.
Colby is this is not last shot yet.
I think we're going to see some physics here. So there's gonna be some movement of objects in place by an object in motion.
He's not throwing real heavy. I think this is a light. I think this is a hack hit. Is this a hack hit on the one of the 4 foot?
Just tap that one out.
Yeah. He's a little wide.
He needs the rub there, actually. He needed the rub. Oh, very close. Good try. So Stephanie has said that if we're getting mics, she'll be the first one to help put a down payment on the FCC fines that we might all incur.
Well, again, the FCC, this is they're out of their jurisdiction here, and so I'm not worried about that.
Sounds good, Jason. I like that.
If we need to test the waters, by golly, I'm here. I'm happy to test those waters.
Sounds good. So what do we have here? We have Jenny with her last shot, Lori with one shot to come after that. So my guess is Jenny's going to try and draw in there top of the 4 foot. Maybe even bury it right on the pin.
Stone's much more spread out through the house compared to what you might see in a typical end of mixed doubles curling.
Yeah, yep, true. Yeah, you get that back rock out of there and suddenly things open up. He's trying to throw it right around there, tuck it in there right on the pin. And then he's off of it.
A lot of room for it to curl.
A little wide, it appears.
It's a little heavy and a little wide. Usually if it's staying wide, it means it's probably a little heavy. And it is. But is it going to stay in the back there for second shot? It is. That gives something for Lori to come down to and get their point.
Get on the board.
Get on the board. So we've got a couple more comments here. Mr. Benton has said that we could start up a pool to see who's the first one to drop the F-bomb. Probably a pretty good pool. And Stephanie says that she loves the internet since the FCC won't bother her if she happens to say unpleasantries on.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I even see some Eminem quotes. She's spitting out lyrics, actually. The FCC will let me be.
That sounds pretty dope, y'all.
Well, there you go. John said the pool is how you pay for the fines. There we go.
See, Stephanie, Stephanie, I'm on top of things. I'm up with lyrics and songs.
All right, Lori's shot is off. Trying to come down to that back yellow one. Sit for 1 point. Get blue on the board here. Colby sweeping. Looks pretty good.
Plenty of room to sneak in there.
Looks pretty good. And
Nice.
she's made it. Oh,
Really nice shot.
very nice shot by Lori.
Yeah, all right. On the board.
Way to go, blue. Got a
I could go get
4-1 game. It is the fourth end break. So go ahead, John. Make
Sponsored
me a
by,
run.
sponsored by Fourth End.
Sure.
Is this where we all go get a shot of our favorite beverage? And
Coors Light. That's all I got, Dan.
do I see a new commentator here? Barb Holmes is a Lori Rentschler fan.
Barb says, yay, Lori, good job.
We're all Lori Rentschler fans.
Correct. John
If-
Beebe would like us to do some promotion for the club, it appears. For new players. I'm not sure we have any like randoms listening, do we? I guess we don't know everybody that's
You never know.
paying attention.
This is where I guess we tell people that people can sign up for curling at KalamazooCurlingClub.com. Does that suffice? Does that get the president off of our back?
Yeah, I mean, an opportunity for new players is, of course, learn to curls. We do have leagues starting up right now. It may not be too late to jump into possibly a Sunday afternoon league. I don't know how full those that early Sunday afternoon draw is. That seems to be the usual best spot for a brand new curler.
Yeah, our Sunday afternoon leagues are definitely have some openings. It's kind of for our newer curlers. And they still can sign up and get going if they wanted to try.
At KalamazooCurlingClub.com.
Jaeger has room for sure, which is Sunday afternoons.
All right. So if you're not curling and you're listening to this and you'd like to try it, we've got the league and the time for you. Early Sunday afternoons. Look up the Jaeger League on KalamazooCurlingClub.com. or try a learn to curl. We will be scheduling those here in early 2023, and there will be an opportunity for you to try curling if you haven't yet.
I believe they start January 21st and they run for 3 consecutive weeks there on Saturdays.
So the first stone from the blue team there freezes on the guard out there in the free guard zone, and I'm not sure how helpful that is for trying to mount a comeback.
It's not a real helpful one, but unfortunately, or fortunately for blue, yellow slipped a little bit deep in the house, so Colby has a chance to throw one right on top of that yellow, and they'll be in good position if they can get there.
So if it's any indication of the entertainment value of what we're doing right now, when I did go down to just check it out on our big screen, I told my wife, I said, "You can turn it off now." And she said, "No, I actually kind of enjoy hearing my friends talk about curling and watch people I know curl." So there you go.
Beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, how do you like this shot?
Look at this shot. There you go, Colby.
There you go. He's trying to put a little pressure on.
Bumping the yellow a little bit, sitting on the back of the button, but blue is shot rock.
Does
Very
leave
good
button
shot.
available. Does leave button available. I think I'm going to go grab a beverage, gentlemen. I'll be right back.
I'm going to do the same. I missed my opportunity on fourth end break. I'll be
Okay,
back in a moment.
That's-
Jason, you got to hold down the fort, big man.
I will fly solo here, but of course that means paybacks are heck. When they come back, I might go and grab a beverage, go to the bathroom, and wax my back. I just don't know. Let's take a look here as Ben Levy sizes up his shot. Kalamazoo Curling Club mixed doubles. The excitement is never ending until it ends. Ben's shot looks plenty wide, lots of room to curl, and not a broom being put to it says that maybe it's a little deep as well. And indeed, that is the case. The yellow shooter coming up deep in the 8 foot and possibly improving on blue's position with the yellow stone behind it, helping to make sure that that blue stone sitting at the back of the button is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. An opportunity now for Colby Novar to put a stone in there and help get back into this game, currently down 4-1 after 4 ends of play. Colby's shot underway. Lori hitting the broom. Line looks really good. And indeed, it is going to finish up very nicely. Staying in front of the tee line with backing. A great position for that stone from Colby Novar. Making the Levies think a little bit here. Getting some head scratching going on. Figuring out a way with the hammer now, the Levy rink with hammer in this fifth end. Will they have a position to get rid of these blue stones and score multiple points? Though I imagine a single yellow would not be the end of the world for them as well. Jenny Levy holding the broom just outside the edge of the 4 foot. Jenny down at the far end. Ben is up and ready to sweep, but not hitting the broom at all. A little jostling opens up the button, creating a little bit of a pocket in there. Hard to tell exactly who is shot right now with 3 stones right around the perimeter of the button. Anybody's game in this end. Nobody holding the broom here for Novar and Rentschler. Needing that sweeping power to finesse this stone right into that pocket.
I'm back here, Jason. Looks like Colby's throwing the intern tap. Must be trying to just get to the inside, just inside the nose of that yellow.
Send the yellow out.
Tap it back. Unfortunately, he's wide and heavy. Come on, curl. There it is.
That's
Curl.
finishing quite nicely.
There he goes. Perfect. Great shot by Colby.
Really
nice. Good. Really good shot.
With the shooter staying out there in front of the button, so providing a little bit of coverage on the left-hand side of the sheet. And it
Like he's left Ben with one shot in. But I tell you, for Colby and Lori, this is a great opportunity. Ben's got to make a tough shot here. Oh, there's Jenny. She's looking up at us. There's Colby. Hi, Colby.
An opportunity to move the blue stone at the back of the button out and maybe roll under cover.
Yeah, so it looks like he's trying. So he's doing 2 things. One, he's eliminating one of the rocks that are in play. And then 2, potentially burying. But he looks like
that's a little wide as well.
Hanging a little wide. And I thought that on Colby's, and it curled up real nice. Yeah, Ben's just going to hang a little bit wide. Still not a bad shot, but certainly he would like to have gotten curled a little bit more.
That stone that Ben just threw is shot rock at the edge of the button.
Yes, it is. So they've got a play on that now.
And a play that, if played right, could leave the blue team sitting with 4 counting.
Yeah, you're right. That would be, yeah, you're right, Jason.
This has got to be just a moment of so much pressure for Colby.
Yes. We are up to 18 viewers on our stream. So, hey, if you know anybody that's interested, send it out there.
I'm back.
Text your friends and family.
I'm so glad that you're both back.
Jason, my wife wanted me to make sure to remind you, if you're ever commentating a Culver's game on Monday nights, that there's a good chance my mom will be listening, and she has no idea what's going on. So just be aware you may need to do some elementary commentating.
How does she feel about F-bombs?
She'll be fine with them.
Okay, that's
she doesn't like them, but she does watch Yellowstone, so I think she's heard them before.
That's what really counts.
Only on Yellowstone? Really? Really?
Speaking of really counting, this stone looks like it's coming up a little bit light.
Oh, Colby. Was that Lori who delivered? That was Lori who delivered. My apologies.
And that's not, it doesn't look like it's a terrible angle, that there's still potential for that blue stone that was just thrown to be nudged in and maybe kick the yellow at the edge of the button out.
Unfortunately, if that was Lori's delivery, that is their last stone she blew.
That's their lab. Well, then never mind.
Yeah, so that's where they really. So in that case, you really needed to miss heavy, if anything, right? You had to move Yellowstone, the pro side miss. Even if you push that yellow one back, you would be shot rock, likely. So she tried. It was a great shot. If she could have snuggled that one in there, would have been a great shot.
Which begs the question now, is there an opportunity for yellow to get a second point?
You know,
Or are they content and maybe just throw it away
I
and
think
take
they're
the
going to
one?
throw it away. I don't know that there's really a shot to make it 2 without potentially hurting themselves. So I think they might be looking to throw it away.
That certainly seems to be the indication from Ben holding the broom.
Which for Lori and Colby is your goal. You're trying to force them to one, and they did. So they accomplished their goal. Now they got to get back there and try and get 2 or 3. If they get a 2 here, they're within a couple, and anything can happen.
So after 5 completed ends, we are looking at a score of 5-1 in favor of the Levy rink, throwing the yellow stones. Hammer will go to the blue team. Novar Rentschler hoping to put up some points here in the upcoming 6th end.
So we did get some love on the commentating from Phil, who is another Lori fan. We've got the Lori fan club has joined the broadcast this evening, and that's great. I'll have you know that sort of in honor of my skip, Ryan Larson, who grew up in the heart of Wisconsin, I made myself a brandy old fashioned, which is a very Wisconsin mixed drink. In fact, I had my first whiskey old fashioned, and I didn't even realize recently, and I didn't even know that that's way more popular than brandy old fashions, because I've had way more brandy old fashions growing up in the UP and spending a lot of time in Wisconsin than ever a whiskey old fashioned. So it's pretty much the same thing with just brandy.
So
in future,
strategy wise, we talked about the power play earlier, and this would have been an opportunity for Colby and Lori to use it, but again, they're choosing not to. And I think it comes back down to we're all pretty comfortable as novices in mixed doubles to just keep playing the shot we know, right to the center. And Jenny looks like she's a little wide, maybe a little heavy at the speed Ben's walking down. So it might work out for Lori and Colby here.
not putting a broom to it. And with teams only throwing 5 stones in an end, there's one opportunity missed. When you have a missed throw like that, is that almost the same as a power play?
Yeah, if you had your perfect solution or option, you would want this every time, because if she can weld this right on, they are sitting 2 dead buried. And now anything that yellow throws will be tough to remove anything from play. So it does really give you that chance to get your multiple pretty easy.
Just
snuck by the guard there. Good sweeping by Colby. And although she wouldn't minded this being a little deeper, it's still in a good spot. It's up top. It's making any guard or draw for yellow a little tougher, because you got to get around that one at the edge of the top of the 8 foot. So it's not a bad shot at all. It's in good position to be able to be used later. The worst case scenario, Jason, you mentioned it earlier. Worst thing you can do is go behind the tee line. If you're behind that, especially the edge of the 4 where that back blue one is, if you go back there, that rock generally is not going to be used or in play.
And for anybody watching who is still coming to terms with this curling game, having stones in front of the tee line, although it may be short of that very center of the house, it has the potential to be knocked closer to the center versus a stone that goes towards the back of the house.
So that rock Lori just threw, as much as it was a little short, it actually worked perfectly. It caused the yellow one, because it's tough to get around that. It ticked it off, and now it's kind of moved off to the side, and it's behind the tee line. So now blue is still in really good shape. They can set one right in there, right on top of their other blue one. They're in really good shape. We have another, look at this. Rose is now just commenting. She just gave us a comment there. She is Lori's fan club president.
Wow.
So
We
Lori has,
welcome
Lori was the
to
one who
the
she didn't want to be on the live stream commentating, and yet she has this massive following. All right. We appreciate all the followers, Lori.
So Marcus, question for you, back to actually the first missed shot of the end.
Yes.
By Jenny. So if you're the team throwing next, especially maybe if you're behind, would there be any strategy in at that point? Either person you still can change your order, right? Could you say to yourself, okay, I know Lori throws a better draw than Colby, or vice versa, and potentially have that person throw first, knowing that now there's really an opportunity based on that throw to take advantage on the end? Would that ever be consideration in mixed doubles, or that?
Yeah, you certainly could, Dan. Absolutely, because up until you throw that first one, either one of you can throw it, and you can alternate or change that. Okay. Usually, for teams that do switch, and honestly, every time I've ever played mixed doubles, I've never switched inside of a game. I've done it from game to game. This game, hey, I'll throw different than the last game, but not inside of a game. Usually, teams that are thinking about that and doing that, they either have a predetermined pattern, or they've made the discussion before that end starts. Hey, you know what? Let's change it up. You're going to try now. And we'll have you throw first, and I'll throw middle three. And so it would be unusual to wait until after that rock was thrown to say, oh, hey, let's switch it up. But certainly you could if you felt it was advantageous for your team.
Well, I'll give you a scenario. We'll let
so Jenny's looking to, oh, no, Ben threw it.
Yeah, Ben threw
slide it in there. I think he's looking to just chap off his a little bit, it looks like, and roll right under. Oh, he just missed the chap off. Oh. Well, had he touched his yellow, he would have rolled right over on top of the blue. Instead, he's got two blue in the back of the 4-foot, which is not real helpful to him.
They are, though, both of those yellow stones, it appears to be out counting the blue stone at the back. But those yellow stones from the hack on the throwing end are both visible. Maybe even, do you throw a takeout?
Very possible. So it looks like blue sits maybe one in the back. I'm sorry, in the top, right? Blue sits one.
I think
if
so.
They were able to get those two out of there, they would sit 4. And yes, you could make that double. The struggle with that, or the reason you don't do it, is because they just throw the draw the other way and ruin your end. I think you leave that hit for your last shot. You try and load up that 4-foot, because if you don't, the other team will.
And those yellow,
because if they can make this shot a good shot, they sit 2. Whereas if you make the hit, you might make the hit, but now they just throw a draw right down to your back, the blue in the back there, and now all of a sudden your end's gone.
And those yellow stones do serve as a benefit to the blue team.
Correct.
In that they provide backing to keep a blue thrown stone in play.
Correct.
Now, Marcus, my thought would have been here to. Oh no, never mind.
It looks like Colby's throwing out towards them.
Yep.
I don't think he's throwing heavy takeout, so I think he's just trying to push him back a little and get a roll.
Starting
which is okay.
Quite
You're trying
to
leave him in place. You're trying to just kind of clog up that center, which is okay. He just needs to get shot rock, be 1-2, and he is. It was a real good shot. Real good shot. Now Ben still has the opening there, or Jenny. I don't know if it's Jenny's last shot, but yellow still has that shot to come in there. It would have been better if Colby's blue rock hadn't rolled out quite as far. It rolled out just a little bit too far. As much, I can't remember who asked about the hit, the double there. You really would like to get 3 or 4, but it's unlikely. You're asking the other team to miss 2 shots in a row to even have a chance at that. In this case, Colby, I think, made the right call. He's just trying to plug up and get 2, sit 2 at the top of the 4-foot. And now it's tougher for for the other team to get in there.
So each team with 2 more stones in this end. Yeah, because Jenny threw first. Right?
True fact. Yes.
Sure, I'll go along with that. I'm not good at numbers.
I believe this is Ben's last shot.
And then Colby has his
Colby will
last.
throw his last, and then the ladies.
Yep, valid. So we just learned we need the little stones in the bottom left now, don't we, guys?
We do.
So it looks like Ben's delivered. He's on it. He's sweeping hard. Got to get by that guard.
It looks like you will.
He just does.
Oh, he hit it. He got it.
So there's a really nice shot.
Oh, did he go right through it all?
No, he sits
Okay.
2, or he sits 1.
Didn't touch anything at the top of the 4 foot, and the yellow shooter is shot as things currently sit.
So that shot really makes things tough for Colby and Lori. They need to pretty much come down and sit on the top of the button and hope to be able to maybe come down to the end of it, or all the way down to that yellow that shot rock now. But tough to get a deuce even, because as soon as they make their shot, Jenny can sit right on top of it.
Now, if Ryan Larson were playing, would he look at that blue off to the right to crash his one at the top of the 4 foot into the yellow? Is that a shot, a higher level shot that is there?
Blue off to the right. Okay, so the double
No,
run.
you got your 2 blue lined up that could, with the right hit, come into, blue that's top of 4 foot will crash down on that blue on the center line and potentially take out both yellow and probably blue as well. That's in the back of the tee, but
it's not going to take the yellow out that sits shot rock. I don't think you can remove that rock from play. I think it's going to sit very close to shot no matter what you do.
Well, my thinking here is that while yellow is shot at the back of the button, the other 2 yellow are not out counting, and if you move that yellow at the back of the button enough and don't touch the blue, scoot through there, is there potential still for 3 for blue?
I think it'd be real tough, Jason, because it is just touching the other yellow, which as soon as you touch it, it's going to redirect it right into the blue that's back there. And I don't think you'll be able to get that yellow out of play or beyond not sitting shot rock, actually.
What if Colby squares the one on the left side, his left blue stone, when looking down the sheet, so that he would run it into the yellow, and he would probably
I think maybe the blue that he hits, if you're talking about the rock that he hits, might end up being shot rock. Might.
Well,
it's just real tough where that yellow one is in the back. It's real tough.
He's just trying to throw the same shot.
And that's the shot I think you have to throw. You have to throw this, hope to make it, hope that Jen misses hers and Lori can kind of come in behind it.
It's a pretty good looking shot.
It is. It's a very good shot. If he don't hit the top blue. Shoot. Well, I think he's still shot rock though. Matter of fact, he might have gotten that other one.
He might have helped out with that blue on the left side of the.
So now I do think if they can move that back yellow one 2 inches, I think they get it 2. Whereas before that wasn't the case.
And they can't block.
They can't block both sides, so they got a chance for 2 now. Yeah, they got a pretty good chance for 2 here. It's a little tougher to as we're looking at the overhead. The blue on the left is somewhat guarded, so it's a little tough to move that one. So Ben's going to guard probably. He's going to throw an intern guard would be my guess, guarding the blue. Although that's already shot rock though, so maybe not. Well, maybe it's not shot rock. I don't know.
Seems like there's an opportunity to bet.
Well, unfortunately, we won't know because there's 2 shots coming. But I think he needs to guard it because Colby could throw in and tap that one into the back yellow.
Right.
That's the easy accessible rock, and he has to guard that one, in my opinion, to not allow them to tap that yellow. He only needs to move that back yellow one 2 inches to get a deuce.
Now,
so my guess is Jenny's going to be guarding it.
For those of you who are new to the game, a deuce would refer to 2 points.
Very true, Jason. Very true.
Not everyone speaks Swahili.
All right.
My lovely wife wanted to remind us that parents might be watching this broadcast with their children, so F-bombs might not be appropriate.
That's why we have Gay. She is our FCC.
She's the
Thank you,
GCC.
We love you, Gay.
Well, a guard placed by the Levy rink
Good shot.
complicates things for Novar Rentschler.
Can can he throw maybe or who's throwing here?
Lori's throwing.
Kind of a hack weight off to the right to clip that one at the top of the forefoot that then
Again, sorry, when you say right,
the farthest right blue stone that is at the top of the forefoot when looking down the rink, the farthest one on the right, if she came with hack weight, could she clip that just enough to move it into their yellow? Because to your point, you don't have to move it.
You don't, but there's only about 3 inches of it showing from our view. Never mind from the hack. It's probably even less.
Right.
So my thought is you go the other way because there's more of that rock showing, and you do the same thing. You're just trying to move it a foot instead of 3 inches, but there's more rock visible. If you're looking at the left side, they can then also come with heavier weight, hit off the yellow, and move it in towards center. So I don't know which one they're throwing. I don't know.
Well, we're about to find out.
My guess is she's throwing the intern, trying to hit the outside blue kind of back into the yellow and then redirect it in toward the pin. So yeah, that's what they're doing. So they got to just get by that yellow, which they're wide enough. I don't know if they're light.
It has been curling quite a bit.
It has. Colby will keep it straight. Here's a heck of a shot. Here's a heck. Oh, she's over curling. Golly, that curled a lot. Good try.
Oh, they kicked the blue in a little.
For sure. Well, if there was any doubt before, that blue is definitely out counting now. Really a good try.
Now, do they have 2 or 1?
No, I think it's just one.
Just one.
Really good try. I don't know if that was counting or not. If it wasn't, that was an absolutely wonderful shot.
And from the team Levy, again, kind of a victory in that blue only gets 1.
Absolutely.
5-2 now after 6 ends. And we'll keep on playing here into the 7th.
I'll be interested to see if the Levies choose the power play here, because although it is an offensive tool, it also is a defensive tool. And yep, they're going to do it. So the reason you use it in the Levy situation right now is a defensive tool. You guys saw, those of you watching, you saw what, 7, 8, 9 rocks all around the edge, right around the button last end. Well, by putting the rocks out here to the outer edge, you take all of the play away from the center. And so therefore, one little shot that suddenly taps one rock here or there, you don't suddenly give up 2 or 3 on accident. This should keep the play a little more open and a little easier to manage for the team that's ahead. So although originally the reason it was created, the power play was created to allow teams that were down to have a chance to score better, it actually has become more of a defensive tool for those that are up. If you're up by 2 or more, you use this pretty regularly late in the game because you really limit the risk of giving up 3.
So to my earlier question, Marcus, so if Lori were to throw one center line, top of the 4, what would Levy do? Because they
So
can't
if
take
it's center
anything
line
out.
top of 4, they probably still try and come right down to it. They probably come and draw it right on top of it.
Okay. Which is
If
kind of
it's-
what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to find out.
Right.
There we go. And that is perfect. Just
Yeah.
a little long, but all right. We'll see. This is kind of what I wondered. Now, do they ignore it or do they?
No, you don't ignore it. I wouldn't think, because if you ignore it, then Colby and Lori come and draw or throw a guard, and now you suddenly allowed them
Right.
control of the end. So
Right.
if you can go sit on it or tap it back, then you're back in control of the end. So you don't really want to let it sit there and allow them to. Because again, you got to remember, Ben and Jen right now are playing defensively. If they were playing offensively, okay, so if Ben and Jen were down and needed to score more, no, I'd go right to the wing, right where the other yellow is, because you got to rely on a miss at some point, and you don't want to give up the opportunity of using that guard. So if I were down in Jen and Ben's spot, I would throw it to the wing, and if I'm up like I am, I'm going to throw right at that blue one and tap it back.
Again, not able at this point to take it out of play.
Correct. So even if you just draw right down to it, you're fine, right? You don't care if you give up 1 here. That's not a big deal. You just don't want to give up 2. You don't want to give up a steal of 2. And she looks pretty good. She just can't be too heavy. She actually needs to, this might take it out of play. So for those watching, that blue rock's going to be put back into play. So you cannot remove a stone from play at all until after 3 rocks have been delivered.
Except that now, having taken the blue stone out of play, the yellow stone comes out of play.
Correct. Yep. The offending stone is removed from play, and the one that was removed from play is put back.
We are coming up on 8 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone. Attention convention out here on Sheet B at Kalamazoo Curling Club's Curling Stadium.
So I'm guessing Colby's going to throw kind of a tight guard, maybe even a top 8 guard right over top of his. Force them to make some shots as the end progresses. You don't want to get too close to it or you leave a double.
Looks like it should line up quite nicely.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Great shot. And Ben wants to have a talk with Jenny.
Is he going to scold her, do you think?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So for those that might be interested in trying curling on Sundays, this Jaeger League, which happens Sunday afternoon, starts at 2:30. Ice time is at 3. And again, you can go to KalamazooCurlingClub.com to sign up if you'd like to try curling with some other newer curlers.
So we just got a comment from our Ohio contingent. Angie Jones is watching, as well as Stephen Imes. Stephen's asking why our stones are blue and yellow and not scarlet and gray. Not being a Michigan fan, Stephen, I think I can speak for anybody else from the state of Michigan that is. It's pretty obvious.
It goes without saying, Stephen Imes, and I'm here to tell you that I'm very proud that some of those curling stones even have mention to the leaders and the best. And my mind goes back to a Saturday in late November, not too long ago, where scoreboard number 4. Just saying.
So back to the game. Benny is looking to throw the double, which is the risk you take, but Colby had to throw the shot he did, and you leave the chance for a double. Looks like he might overcurl and stuff it. So he's going to stuff it. So that's good for blue. Now blue has to decide, are they going to guard it up again, or are they going to get aggressive and try and steal 2 here? I think you need to try and steal 2. You're down quite a bit. So, all right, there's some chatter going back and forth, obviously, Mr. Doctor. I understand completely. He has responded to Mr. Imes. The reason they are blue and yellow is because A, we are number one winners, and B, number two, we have some class. So I guess he's insinuating Ohio State has no class, Stephen, but I'll let you read into that as you would.
Yeah, that's not an insinuation. That's actually a scientific fact.
Okay.
I have an update on our trending viewership, which apparently word is out that the place to be on Wednesday night after Christmas is at Kalamazoo Curling Club's curling stadium site. We were up to 20 viewers, although I think Jason offended Steven and we may have lost Steven. We're down to 19, but we did cap out at 20.
There we go.
Well,
Attaboy, Jason. Mr. Doctor is very happy with your actions, Jason.
Buckeyes do tend to have a very limited attention span. They're not able to focus on anything for too long. Really involves a lot of brain power, which, is not something that Buckeyes are known for.
So Benny is looking to run back. So right now, Ben just wants to get guards out of play. This is very similar to a 4-person game now, where they're up. They just don't want anything out in front of the house that can allow them to hide behind. So he is looking to probably, actually, the triples there. He can run back that blue into the yellow. If he has the right angle, he might send the yellow right back into the blue. Get rid of the 2 guards.
Is there ever a scenario where just tapping the yellow back a little bit closer into the house to shrink the scoring area? Does that ever come up as a thought?
Not really. You're up 3, and the only thing you don't want to do is give up 2 or 3. And by that tapping, Jason, even if you made the shot, you're leaving 2 rocks, your blue and your yellow shot rock out front. And that's what you don't want. You don't want rocks out front right now. And he's close. He's real close. I think he's got it. There it is. Oh, nope, just missed. Good try, though. But he got what he wanted, and that's opened it all up. So now Colby and Lori have to choose. Do we just guard, or do we try and get closer and hope they miss?
There is nowhere to hide.
Nope, not really. So if they miss the guard, you take the blue out. If they make the guard, then maybe Jen and Ben either come around and just try and shrink the zone at that point, Jay. That may be their option, or you try and just peel the guard again and force them to make another guard.
And obviously the yellow stone that's there in the wings is helping to shrink the scoring area a little bit.
A little, yes. But it's you needed to get at that blue stone, have an easy shot at it for Ben and Jen. They wanted to be able to remove that stone from play. And now Colby has to throw a guard. And if he gets too tight, then the double's there. If he leaves it too long, then you just draw down to it and, let them have 1 and go into the 8th end up 2, which is a great position to be in. So it looks like he's thrown the guard. And the question is, how far does it go? Another good guard. So just far enough that the run back's tough. So Ben might just choose to lay one in there or get rid of it and leave it open for them to have to throw another guard. Looks like he's hitting it, trying to get the double.
Will do, John. Do have a long distance request for our friend in Columbus. It's not the best part of the song.
Oh.
Yeah, wait a minute.
It's really nice to hear spiritual music like that.
Spiritual music.
I do appreciate A nice spiritual hymn like that.
So he's a little wide on it, but he's going to get the guard out. Hopefully he doesn't take his yellow out in the back. Nope, he's not. So forcing Lori to throw another guard. At this point, she might want to go in tighter and actually get second shot and hope they miss, because blue needs a couple points here if they can get 2. So your ideal shot here is just out counting that yellow that's out on the outer edge. Looks like they're calling for just a straight guard. I guess they want to steal 1, steal 3. But you have a chance to steal 2 if you get to out counting them.
But time kind of running out. Rock's kind of running out.
Correct. Yep. So it's a big risk if you try and go for that 2 in this end. Obviously, they have an open hit to hit either the rock, so it's really easy to get it out of play. So it's not bad just to leave that a little short and guard it up and make a real tough shot for Jenny. The problem is, as you said, Jason, you're running out of time. That means you got to steal 2 just to tie in the next end. That's not easy to do.
And with that Yellowstone under coverage out on the wings, does that ever come into play as a potential freeze opportunity? I mean, they're not playing it, and so the answer is no. But would that have ever been a strategy?
Either way, that's a really hard shot. So, and you're leaving the blue wide open. So even if they hit it and roll out, they're only giving up 1. So, this way you're making it really hard. Stop sweeping.
But it is going to stay out.
Well, now sweep it and get it shot rock. Now get second shot. Nope.
Just out of
it's over curls.
So
Jason, to your point, that's a tough shot for anybody to make, right? That come around freeze. So, and you're leaving your shot rock exposed. So you really want to try and save your shot rock is what you're trying to do there.
Well, to that end, they did not.
Correct.
It's still very much open.
Yes, it is.
So a bit what happened to Colby there is one of the dilemmas I have noticed in mixed doubles, and that is if you don't have somebody down there in the house,
yes,
and you're sweeping stone, you don't know where it's going to end up, and it's hard to know when to sweep. At least that's what I found. I'm like, geez, am I oversweeping? Am I undersweeping?
Nope, very valid, Dan. Yeah, it's tough. You only have the 2 of you, right? And one of you is sitting there behind the shot, and the other one's running out to sweep, or vice versa. Somebody's in the house and you're running at it. So looks like Jenny's a little wide, but it might curl up.
It's curling. It looks like enough to get a piece of the blue or not.
And it doesn't. All right. So 1 blue stolen. So that's where, Dan, in that case, right? Once if Lori's talking to Colby and saying, hey, it's over curling, you want to stay off of it and you want to let it stop, right? So by continuing to sweep that, he's just elongating the shot and it tends to move further away from where they intended. But on the other hand, Colby sees how close he is. And in that case, right, you're hoping for a miss, right? You need 2 or 3 misses out of Jen in these last end, this end and the next end. And so had he swept that another 1.5 foot, which maybe he could have, maybe couldn't have, I don't know. But you get that another 1.5 foot, you're sitting 1-2. First of all, the shot, whoever's taking the shot, Jenny taking that shot, now she's throwing against 2. Secondly, if she misses, as she did, you just got 2 instead of only 1 there. So it's always tough to determine when you're sweeping what's the best course of action when there's only the 2 of you doing it. Right. Obviously, the 4-person game allows way more eyes to make the right calls.
So first stone here in the 8th end. Yellow with hammer up by 2.
Big shot here. Lori can weld this on there. They're in really good shape to make it tough on them. Gotta go. It's a little light. Gotta go.
I noticed we have at least one Bronco hockey fan in the house. Western Michigan is playing in the Great Lakes Invitational up in Grand Rapids right now, Van Andel Arena. They are playing in the championship game against Ferris State after an 8-1 victory last night, and they are currently ahead. I can't tell if it's 3-1 or 4-1, but go Broncos. They are looking good against Ferris in the championship right now. And that other ice sport.
All right, so Blues down 2, needing to steal a couple. Jenny doing her usual, dropping one in there. Really good shot by Jen.
Some good coverage.
Mr. Iams indicated the other hockey sport or the other ice sport must be figure skating. Is that correct, Dan?
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
It would be ice hockey.
I apologize. You said they won 8-1 last night?
They won 8-1 last night to advance to the finals. They were ahead 7-0 after 2, which is pretty impressive for any hockey team.
And they're playing who tonight? I'm sorry, Ferris. Is that correct?
Yep, Fair State in the championship. Our friend Mike Polis is there with his family.
Good. Robin Rudin, who is a former club member, Grand Rapids. She lives up in Grand Rapids. She's I saw her say today she was a little upset with still Michigan State, and Western for leaving the CCHA, which Ferris used to play against them in the CCHA. So she was glad they got their vengeance last night.
But it's not. But it's not healthy to hold on to those kinds of grudges. And I do worry for Robin about holding
Right.
on to that. Let's move on.
Is Colby going to try the tap or just the draw around?
No, I think he's got to throw a straight draw. Tap's a real tough shot there.
But at some point could be available to him.
Certainly, yeah. That's why the shot that Lori threw, although you would have liked it deeper, as long as it's out front, you can use it. Once it gets past behind that tee line, it's almost useless, and helps the other team at times. So Colby's staying a little out there. All right, not bad. Just above the tee line. Somewhat buried. He would have liked that to tuck in a little bit more, but good shot.
Second stone as it currently lies.
I would like to take this opportunity to shout out to my mother, who has joined the broadcast from down in Florida. So we have a long distance viewer down in Florida.
Nice.
She's been asking since she's started watching curling this year. Boy, it would be nice if people would talk about the curling because I don't know what's going on. So
Well, neither do we, Mom. But we'll try.
And her name is Adele. So Adele, thank you for joining the broadcast.
Love to have you, Adele.
We're always coming to terms with this silly game, and it's half joking, but the reality is that you are learning the ice throughout the game, and with every new sheet that you play on or new facility that you play in, there's always learning going on. So we're always still learning this game too.
Very true. Looks like Ben is trying to throw a hit, and
Little
at
bit
this
of heat.
point, they're just in removal stage. Get rid of any rock.
Woo!
Look at that sweeping. Not only did he get a hit, but he got a little inside roll. Very good shot by Ben. Great sweeping by Jenny.
And runs that Bluestone out of the house, which is again helping to run the Bluestones out of the game and making it a lock for the yellow team should they continue as they are.
You're starting to see why Ben and Jen have won, 2 or 3 of our leagues. 2 years. 2 out of the 3 years they've won the league. And they also have won numerous mixed double tournaments that they go to. They, like I said earlier in the broadcast, they travel quite a bit. And as well as play 4-person curling, they play mixed doubles together a lot. And they do very well wherever they go. So, Jason, I'll take the chance to ask you next Wednesday when we have mixed doubles going on. Dan and I will be on the ice. You interested in calling games next week?
It depends. We'll have to see who is playing whom. I want to be entertained by these matches as well. And I imagine that we will begin to do this on a more regular basis as we get more people within the club up to speed and figuring out the technology. Yeah, this is a thing that we will be developing over time.
Yeah, a lot of comments saying how people really enjoyed it. So it's pretty awesome.
I will just say, if you're looking to be entertained, watching the Abergs play on Wednesday nights can be a very entertaining way to watch your curling. You won't necessarily see great curling shots, but you will be entertained.
That's what it's all about.
We'll get you a mic, Dan. We'll just have you, remote in with your phone, and you can just be commentating.
That's true. We already thought about that.
Right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can.
Only with a shot. He needs to get the double here.
No, we got the roll in.
He should have been sweeping. If he was sweeping a little bit, he kept that a little straighter, he might have ticked that back one out of there, which he really needed to do. Good throw, though. Really good try.
The yellow stone in the 4-foot at the top, and I'm seeing it on the left. If I'm down in the throwing end, is there ever an opportunity to? Probably not yet. Save it, but do you go after that with the hopes of trying to knock both yellow out?
Yeah, you probably have to at some point, Jason. I mean, the good thing about what Colby just did is he at least left a rock in play, got another one out. There is a chance to get the two yellow ones out with one throw. Correct. Colby has one shot left. Lori has one shot left. So there's not a lot of time. So if Ben tucks it around that top blue, the blue one in the 12-foot or the 8-foot, they're going to be in trouble. There's not a whole lot they'll be able to do. If Ben leaves it a little short, they're going to probably have to go at something like that. Yes. Because they're going to need to bring that top blue one into play. And the only way that happens is getting rid of the two yellow.
Correct.
So I think we've lost Ryan Larson for the evening, but he enjoyed immensely the broadcast. And so thank you, Ryan, for joining us if you're still here.
So this looks like a pretty good shot by Ben. He just can't go too deep.
Real nicely.
Yeah. That's a good shot. So good old Ben. Made a nice shot there. So Colby's got to hit and roll. He's got to choose which one he wants.
Not quite a circus shot, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it's tough. Even the hit and roll, I don't know that he gets shot rock. At which point, it doesn't matter. They don't even need to throw. So he has to get shot rock here. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to score at 2. So tough to get shot rock here for Colby right now. Back to your shot you called earlier, Jason. I think he might have to do that.
What about the tap that we talked about earlier?
Essentially, that's what Jason was talking about. The tap with that blue one. Whether you tap to try and take it out, I think you almost want to tap to try and just leave it in play and leave the yellows as backers right now. But no matter how you slice it, tough shot. He's got a real tough shot here.
Oh, the second member of Team Culvers has chimed in, Joe Gillish. He enjoyed the commenting. So
I think very specifically, he said, great job commentating, gentlemen, Daniel and I, and Jason.
It seems like a dig on Jason.
I'm just reading it the way it was stated.
I'm not offended.
Nor should you be, Jay.
Mike Doctor echoing Joe's comments.
One thing that I don't think Colby really has in his bag of tricks, as I've experienced, is he's not a very good cheater. This could be an opportunity where maybe you're compelled to cheat, and I don't think that that's something that Colby is very good at.
I would agree. So it looks like he is choosing option C, gentlemen, which we didn't even think of. And he is looking to just tap the outer edge of that blue that's in the 8-foot back into the yellow, I guess. I think he's trying to just just probably back 8 weight, trying to just get past that center guard and tap that blue one right back to the pin.
Can he do it with enough weight?
I think so. It's curling pretty heavy, right? And you've got almost half that rock, and it's about 8 feet. So I think so.
would this be a good opportunity for us to lay down a wager that we can add to the Telestrator fund?
I bet he misses it.
Yeah, I'm going to bet that way as well. So
Not
All right,
based on his abilities, it's based on the difficulty of the shot.
How about this bet? Will he hit the stone he wants to at least?
ooh,
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he hits the guard.
I think he'll hit it.
He pushed it wide. He pushed it
Oh,
wide.
he did.
He's not hitting the guard. I think he's hitting the yellow.
Oh, maybe that was the call along. Is he going for
Maybe.
double? Double? Is he going for a double here? Oh.
Can't imagine that was a call because you had to get shot rock, right? You have to get shot rock there, and by getting two of theirs out doesn't do you any good.
Well, there is an opportunity to potentially get both of those yellows out.
Okay.
keep
I
in,
suppose you're not wrong.
let's
Maybe.
let's keep in mind that
You're not wrong.
yellow has hammer, and so there's that.
Correct. But Dan made the point, and he's right. You know, yellow, if yellow just gets a rock out counting that top blue, now I think it's impossible.
Right. And
But
Joe,
there's the run back double. There's the run back double that's still there. So if Ben leaves this short or goes through the run back double, you can run that guard, that blue guard, straight back into those yellows and sit two.
And Joe, if you're still on, I missed a very good letter Kenny opportunity. I apologize. So let me just do it right now. To be clear.
I was watching that last night. Steffi made some reference to it earlier as well. I missed on that one as well.
We'll do better as broadcasters as time goes on.
Clearly,
This is our first time.
Jason, are you going to be able to banter with yourself if you're alone?
it depends on how demonic. Depends on
Oh,
how
I'm thinking,
demonic I'm feeling.
I'm seeing some names already on this. Mike Doctor, Ryan Larson. You know, there's some names here that are league members that aren't playing on Wednesdays that can be involved. John Beebe.
Lots of voices in my head. Right now, those voices are all saying yellow sits 3.
Wow, great shot.
Yeah,
and this
that-
puts
That's the deal, right?
That's the needle. Yeah, there's no way to get 2. It's fun to look at them and think about it, and I'm sure they'll throw something hard and heavy. But in the end, yellow will not give up more than 2.
Yellow will probably prove victorious.
No, wait. I think I might see something.
That's good.
What if he runs his blue stone off to the left of Lori's hip and is able to hit about quarter on the right to potentially double out that one, the yellow, and it might run off the back one.
A fantastic circus shot that we will not see happen.
I mean, is that a feasible shot?
So probably not with anybody from our club. How's that?
Okay, well,
You would need so much speed in order. That's a flat double, right? In order to make that double, you got to get the rock that you're coming across the house to remove. You need to move it 6 feet to not outcount that top blue one. That'd be really tough to do.
So you'd have to throw it about 1,000,000 miles an hour,
That's what I'm thinking.
somewhere
Jason.
like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
And Lori might not have that.
She's about 750,000, but not quite 1,000,000.
Ryan just said he'd like to try.
I knew you'd like to try. Mister, I've signed off. Yeah, sure.
See, no one, you can't, it's must see TV. You can't turn away. It's like a train wreck.
It
Train
is.
accident.
It is exactly what it is, Dan.
I think if we were able to get a microphone in front of Lori and Colby right now, they would sympathize with that train wreck analogy.
They played a fine game against the best mixed doubles team, I believe, on Wednesday nights this year.
Congratulations to Ben and
Absolutely.
Jen on their win and to Lori and Colby on a very well played game.
So, to everybody who did join us, thank you very much. Again, our first stab at doing this. We'll all get better, at least at commentating, if not at curling. And I hope you join us again here on the Curling Stadium Kalamazoo. This is a fantastic opportunity. Again, if you're at all interested in this sport and you're not currently playing, visit us at KalamazooCurlingClub.com. Sign up and join great people with a great sport and a great time. helps to make these winters just a wonderful place to be. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, Dan.
Well,
Hey, before we sign off, a shout out to Ryan's brother-in-law, Jeff, out in Wisconsin, another long distance viewer from, God, what's the name of your town out there? Starts with a P. What's the town that they curl? Poinette, Wisconsin. And we
on that club, little 2-sheeter, beautiful little club there.
And in 9 days, Jeff will be skipping myself and Chad and Joe to hopefully defend our Lodi Bonspiel title of 2019.
Thanks for tuning in, Jeffrey.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks. It was fun. Hopefully we can do this again sometime with a big group like this. I think that made it really enjoyable. So
I think so, too.
Happy New Year to all.
All right. Good curling.
to all a good night.
Good curling from Kalamazoo.